Hey everyone, the anime winter season just kicked off this last week, and I'm so excited to share the series that I'll be tuning into. I watched the first episode for all of these, and I really wanted to sit down and talk about them for a little bit. Starting off with Attack on Titan, the moment we've all been dreading, but also excitedly and anxiously waiting for has arrived. Part 2 of the Attack on Titan finale. I picked up this series during quarantine and I've rewatched it 2 or 3 times since then. The story has so much depth, it's super interesting, and has many likable characters. I seriously cannot recommend this series enough. Part 1 of the finale last year felt slow, with each episode building towards the climax at the end of the episode, only to start over for the next one. I really hope that the rest of the season is much like this recent episode, when you can watch it and the episode is over before you know it, because it was that good. I think last year we were just introduced to so many new faces and it was a little overwhelming. But at this point we know that there are 3 groups: Paradise Island, the Jaegers, and Marley. And there's so much chaos everywhere, and the chaos that awaits us yet. Whose side are you on? I saw a post the other day that made me laugh, and it said that the only person that could stop Eren at this point is Naruto. So if Mappa could make this crossover happen, that would be great, because the ending as I know it gave me some emotional damage. Looking back, I kind of wish I hadn't read the manga, because it took away a little bit of the excitement from not knowing what was coming next in the story. On the bright side, I can assure you that it's an amazing story and I'm excited to see the ending animated. Secondly, Love of Kill. I tuned into Love of Kill because I love myself an adult romance with some comedy. I definitely was not expecting the series to start off with a guy getting his head blown off, but if anything, this is an interesting twist to the typical workplace romance I'm used to. After Song Ri-ha and Chateau Dankworth meet, Ri-ha becomes interested in Chateau and pursues her romantically. I have to say the first episode was kind of adorable. This assassin showed his affection by doing what assassins do best: stalking and assassinating his targets, only they're her targets. In real life, I would not approve of this kind of gesture. Maybe he would have to stick to the 80s romance movie trend where he stands outside her window with the boombox. All jokes aside, I do hope that Chateau sees some major character growth, because right now she's just kind of there. I'm loving Ri-ha right now. His design, his voice, and his character's personality. I've read many great things about the manga, and from the sounds of it, the story delivers on a lot of action and drama. So if you're looking for a story with both of those, this is one that you should consider watching. Up next, Requiem of the Rose King. For all my fellow history lovers, this one is for us. Inspired by William Shakespeare's King Richard III, a story that is loosely based on the fight for the throne between the House of York and the House of Lancaster in the 15th century. In this dark fantasy, the main character is Richard III, who is the son of the Duke of York. Richard was born with characteristics of both female and male, and that aside, he seems to have an okay brother relationship with his older brothers, and his dad appears to love him very much. Richard really looks up to his dad, and the story will follow him as he tries to help his family gain the throne. The first episode was kind of dark, with the prophecy being shouted at Richard multiple times and characters fading from one character to another in the woods. I still have a lot of questions, but I've read a lot of really good things about the manga, so I'm going to keep watching. And if it's anything like other history inspired shows that I've seen before, we are in for a lot of unexpected twists and turns. And those are my favorite kind of stories. My Dress Up Darling. I was super hesitant to watch this one because I heard it had a lot of fan service in the manga, and it just felt a little weird because the characters at the point that we're at now are minors. But I'm so glad I went ahead and watched it, because fan service aside, these two are adorable, with the cute and wholesome story about 2 very different high school students whose hobbies end up bringing them together. I think I'm really going to enjoy this one. It'll be so fun watching these 2 work together on Marin's cosplays. The animation is beautiful. I love the big glistening eyes and rosy cheeks. The animation kind of reminds me a little bit of Your Lie in April, and I absolutely adore Marin's character design, her hair, her piercings, her manicure, and most of all, her confidence. I appreciate how she accepted Gojo's interest in Hina dolls and his knowledge of sewing. And oh my god, whoever that little girl was at the beginning who had the audacity to look hurt by the fact that Gojo enjoyed working on Hina dolls, I hope she stubs her toe every day, at least until Gojo can get back at her for ruining his confidence. Anyway, I'm excited to see these two team up and see their relationship progress. Lastly, Sasaki and Miyano. I'm a sucker for high school romances, and after giggling and grinning while watching the first episode of Sasaki and Miyano, I can tell that I'm gonna like this one. Senior boy Sasaki has a crush on his cute and wholesome younger classmate Miyano. These two are so cute, and I really like how Miyano doesn't really realize how Sasaki feels about him right now. It'll be fun to watch them continue to interact together and learn how to express their feelings. Kind of funny, a year ago I was out shopping for manga and I randomly picked up the first volume for this series. I never went back for other volumes, mostly because I became obsessed with a few other series, but I kind of wish I would have gone back for more of this because clearly it's a good story and it's being animated. A few other series that I'll likely be watching are Teasing Master Takagi-San Season 3. I saw the first 2 seasons and I absolutely adore these two characters. Honestly, one of my comfort anime to watch when I need to feel safe, warm, and fuzzy inside. The only thing is, it won't be on Netflix like the previous 2 seasons, but I'll get around to watching it someday. Police in a Pod, another adult workplace romance, but unlike Love of Kill, where the romance revolves around committing crime, this one will be about 2 police officers. And lastly, Orient. I always love having an adventure story to watch, and this one seems like a good one to try and tune into. What series will you be watching this season?